from Blaze.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this goes for them because one slip could open up a gap. Oh, and there's the peak. Nalco's going to get taken down by Auto. That'll be the second one down from them.
Pants getting a little overconfident. Thought he had taken down Prefontaine. Does get caught up. Toast rotating around, catches out Prefontaine. Globo-chem with a trade between Toast and Noman on the bottom floor. Managed to take out every single living member of Blaze and take the third round on Marsoc in a super...
It's your man, Pooh Nanners, your Texas caster and hype master.
And your caster extraordinaire with the copper-toned hair. I'm Sleepy.
Oh, that's right, Sleepy. It is good to be back. We had ourselves a decent vacation. I think it was kind of long enough. I'm probably going to take another week. I don't know. You got to get us back in the studio. We are just knocking off the rust. So are a lot of the other teams trying to kick off the rust and the dust to get themselves going. There are also a bunch of roster changes in the preseason. And Tripp said he had an idea about that, and he recorded us something. Tripp, just go ahead and show us what you got.
Anyway, okay, there's one here. All right, so Pooh Nanners, I think I'm onto something. The whole thing stinks, and I'm going to bring them all down, all of them. All right, so it starts with Lemon Squad right here, right? They lost like 5 players. Something happened at the top, man, and they just scattered. They went everywhere. I don't know what happened. They know what happened. They all left. So they know something that they're not telling us, and someone's trying to cover it up. And then we got Irish here. Irish starts his own team. He starts Pack 1, right? Then he's throwing money around that seems to like it came out of nowhere. He drops everything. He joins Blitz. Then he joins back to Pack 1. Where'd that money come from? Who wants him silenced? What was the point of the new team? And it doesn't stop there, all right? So we have other players that joined teams, right? And then jump ship. We've got the Pacifist right here. The Pacifist, and then we've got EU Force. And then it was European Union Force. But they started it, and then they stopped it. And they started it, and they stopped it. And it's totally a front. See? Front. Right there, right in the big red letters. Front. Now, I'm positive, right? These are obviously front companies designed to launder player trades to hide it all from the FBI. And then we've got Riot. Where's Riot on my map? Riot's up here. We've got Riot, right? They lost 2 players to Phoenix. And then Kitten Mittens, the Mittens himself, leaves Legionnaires, goes to Danglers. We don't know why. What are they hiding? And then, get this, right? All right, here's the kicker, right? So Silent Knight of Animal House, right there. Silent leaves Animal House, and Dr. Sean and Enigma, formerly of Silent but Deadly, join. So something smells wrong, right? I mean, there's 2 Silent said twice right there. So, they want you to remain silent. They don't want you to know. And then they added the back alley doctor, Dr. Sean, and so he's off the book surgery, and they added the man whose name literally invokes questions just to taunt us. And then here's the real kicker, the big one, the big kahuna right here, all right? So we got SDK right here. A miracle dev, leaves Stone Cold Killers, was a captain, now he's not. He ends up in the center of this whole conspiracy, right here, right here. SMC Tactical, everything leads back to these guys. What does SMC even mean? What are they planning? Who did they kill? Is this where Irish Wolf is getting his money? Are they the real owners of the shell companies up here? We don't know, but a miracle dev figured it out, and they got to him before we could get answers. And then there's another sneaky trade, right? SMC gets another captain. They get one from Cats and Hats. Wait, no.
And those are the trades that happened. And it makes sense to me. It all comes together. What do you think, Sleepy?
Yeah.
Sleepy agrees. I think there is a conspiracy, and SMC is at the crux of it. But let's go ahead and get into the matches. We have our first match of Season 8 with Amber versus Kingsman. It's a strong one, according to Buxton. A strong one, at least for Amber, taking down Kingsman, formerly known as Valor. As you can see, it still actually says Valor on their name, on their logo. And then even though Kingsman defeated them last season, so let's take a look at what they have. Do we have anything from them? Right, we don't have anything. It went 12-6.
Yeah, we don't.
Well, it is the beginning of the season, so we don't have a lot of participation from the captains just yet, and we definitely don't have a lot of cash just yet, as everybody's trying to set up with the new casters as well as a new schedule, and a difficult schedule because y'all are covering now multiple games. But we'll move on to another game that we don't have clips from, VRAF versus Big Red 1. This is a slow but steady first match of the season for VRAF. They followed their master plan and got the kills and caps that they needed, and it worked out really well for them. They ended up going 13-1, just a total blowout.
Yeah, a little bit of a blowout there. But, Big Red 1, they're still relatively new to the league. I mean, VRAF also pretty new, but they've been putting in their work, and their team seems very, very dedicated. I've seen some random things online that just make me think like they are really into this.
Well, we'll have to see if they can pull it together as the season kicks on. Moving on to the next match. One of our first high-tier matchups of the season was super hyped up, but as we have come to expect from Globo-chem, they are unrelenting and they dominated the Rusty Blaze fresh out of the season starting gate. Globo-chem started strong with taking it to the first map point, taking the first 3 rounds before Blaze turned it around, taking 2 for themselves. But Globo-chem shut them down and continued to sail smooth for the rest of the match.
Yeah, that's right, Poonanners. And in our first clip, don't blink, you might miss it because there's already 3 members of Globo-chem down. That's just how fast Blaze is working in this round.
Blazing fast.
Yeah, blazing fast is right. Thunderpilot will find Silent Night, but Noman will eventually get Pants on the rooftop. And you know what? That leaves the old Thunderpilot here by himself in the north, completely exposed. He's got enemies on both sides. This was probably one of my favorite plays from this series from Blaze. They shut down the team, as we saw, and then they just enclosed and encircled Thunderpilot. He had nowhere to go. His only options were to run out basically through the open areas of the map in the north, and he was just done for. So, I mean, he tried what he could, but unfortunately for him, Blaze was able to close out the map, or the round. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Next, we're going to go on to Suburbia, and here we're going to have Pants getting a little lucky with the grenade, and then the rest of the Globo-chem's just going to come in and just finish this off. But here comes a first nade from Pants. Not quite on target. Actually, that wasn't even the grenade. He wasn't even the person who threw that grenade, to be fair. So, well, I guess he was. Never mind. Pants is going to grab the kill onto Cryocell with the nade. And Nalco will revive Prefontaine. Things are going everywhere, but it just does not work out for Blaze. Then finally, this is a clip you see at the top of the show. Globo-chem going to take Tanker in just about 42 seconds, if I remember this correctly. You'll see Pants charging in. He makes it down. He calls it out, but as soon as he rushes in, bing, bang, boom, he's dead. He's down by Prefontaine. He and Prefontaine trade. Toast will come in, clean up Prefontaine and Cryocell. Then he and Noman trade, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Globo-chem take the round, and again, just 42 seconds on Tanker. This was map 3, and I believe, yes, they do. They sweep it 4-0.
Yeah, man. Globo-chem doing what they do. We didn't expect them to actually start off super strong, because like a lot of them are busy. Everybody's rusty. But that's the way that it went. And, Dante blessed Noman. He did the best he could. It's a man who gives as much love as he takes kills, but he just could not do everything he needed to do in order to bring Blaze through that round. But it is their first round of the season, so it is not really going to be indicative of what we're going to see the rest of the season. It's just a way to kick everything off. Speaking of kicking things off, we're going to set us up for the next match. It's a very close match here with a fantastic comeback from G-Men. Unfortunately, it was an uncasted match. This is G-Men versus Danglers, and the man of G-Men reportedly dominated on Downfall to lead the charge in their comeback. It would have been a fantastic watch to see how this one played out. If I recall, it actually ended up going 8-7. I got 2 of those maps going to G-Men to get them that win. With Downfall going 3-4. That was the close match that have been worth watching. You guys remember, man, you can record locally. You can stream the stuff on Twitch. It's good for the league. It's good for the game for you guys to stream and get out there and do that. And here at V Respawn, like, we have a stream team. And we can promote you guys out there who want to actually be streamers as well as pro players. But also it makes it easier for us to get these clips. Just remember to keep the video feed in frame if you're dead and you're watching your team, just
don't be looking around inside the tent looking at the scoreboards and the lobby lists and all that crap while there's stuff happening on screen that you want us to see. That's definitely not a good example. But yeah, he's right. I do know that the matches, I believe this match was streamed POV from one player on each side, maybe more, or it could be less. I know that Riboman, I believe, streamed the Danglers side on that match. but I'm not 100%. But anyways, yeah, it was a good match. The only reason it wasn't casted is we just didn't have enough casters available, as Noman, one of our other kind of primary casters, was playing in the G-Men the Blaze versus Globo-chem match at the exact same time. So we just didn't have the manpower to cover it, unfortunately. Buxton's still slacking up there in Slaxerland. That's what I called it. It's like Switzerland, but with slackers. So yeah.
That's a long walk there. But what another thing you can do, if you did stream it, and Sleepy is sure that some did, you could submit those stream clips, go through with your team if you want to clip some stuff out, but you could submit them on your match page. And Man actually set up a whole API for us so that whenever Buxton hits that generate show button before he starts writing the whole thing, it pulls all the clips down that you guys have done so he could paste them into the show, making it very easy for him to pick and choose what he likes. But moving on to the next match with SMC Tactical versus Legionnaires, Buxton said this is a very solid match between two teams with some fantastic moments. It was a bit of a slow burner initially, but it picked up in the later maps with some solid round trading, with Legionnaires picking up the final map after making it to a match point on the second. Alas, not quite enough to pull it back, but they almost did.
They almost did. Now, in our first kill, or in our first clip, Bocake's going to have thrown a grenade. You're not going to have seen it because of the transition, but here comes Beefy with his confirmation grenade, and that's going to end up being dubbed Play of the Week by Buxton, even if placing two nades in the same spot may have been accidental.
Well, I mean, that's really good aim, and that's something we see at the high-level pro players, is being able to snipe people with grenades. I mean, it's one thing to sight up your weapon, right, and to be able to shoot it. Another thing where, like, if you're a guy who's pretty good with hip fire because you really get a feel for where that is. But to be able to drop a grenade across map exactly where you want it, especially the guys that burst in air. There was that one play, I think from last season, where he had it explode in front of the window to get the guy inside the building. Like that, that kind of magic is just next level. And that's the kind of stuff that you only really see in Onward. And I absolutely love it every time I see it. SMC Tactical takes that series 9-7 with their new players on their team. Seem to be working out well for them at the beginning of the season. We're going to move on to our next match. It'll be Lords of War versus Cold Steel. Buxton has a little note for us here that he's going to give us something very directly. It turns out that Captain Call Me Fitz typed out an inspired and beautiful recap of this match, only to find out that his session ran out of time and it will never be read by anyone. That is just write them in Notepad first and then paste them in. So to keep it short and sweet, the Lords of War and Cold Steel battled until the very end, in what was a victory for Cold Steel with the narrowest of margins, 11-10. No one was able to provide video proof to document this instant classic, however, so you can be sure that there will be a rematch very soon for us to hopefully watch that one. Both teams are certain to have a fantastic Season 8 as they look poised to climb their way up the league rankings. Moving on to the next match, Pack 1 versus Cats and Hats. I was actually looking to see if on the logo, if they've removed you yet, Trip. They probably have. I just haven't updated the logo. We'll
no, they haven't.
They haven't yet.
That's him with the speaker right above your
Trip
head.
makes the logo. Oh, this is terrible. All right, so not much to say about this one other than it was incredibly close. Cats just barely managed to scrap by here. They did take it, however, so they'll be starting off on a good note for this season. Cats and Hats win the series 10-9, giving up one map on Quarantine Day. Then we have a Riot versus a GOE, Joe as I like to call them, but Gunning on Empty is their name. This is another uncasted match, not particularly close, but this is the return of an old Oceania turned America's East team, Gunning on Empty, who played way back in Season 5 and returned to fight for Season 8. We're excited to see how they're going to fare with the long break, but from the looks of it, it looks like they're aiming high this season. GOE was able to take the series 13-2. I don't know if there is a lag advantage though for playing all the way in Straya. What do you think on that one? What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, back when I used to play on the Great Apes, back in like seasons 2, 3, and 4, I think back then maybe. We actually had a member on our roster, Lightsteed. He was from Australia, and he never seemed to have any issues with ping and stuff like that. So
maybe they just got better internet than we do, huh?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's got that supercharged kangaroo internet, for all I know.
Hey, no. All right.
No, I mean, he never complained about it. In fact, he would often be the last guy alive on our team in the rounds. I mean, I don't know if that was a skill-based thing or if it was an internet advantage that he had, but I mean, I never really had him complain about it, so I couldn't tell you, but I don't believe it matters.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Moving on to the next round, we had Beginners versus Vikings. A surprisingly close match here, possibly a bit of rust on Beginners, but Vikings did take a lot of rounds. Perhaps a new challenger for Beginners to be worried about? What do you think on that, Sleepy?
I'm Ron Bergen. No, hey, Vikings are a great team. There's a lot of really great talent over in the EU right now, and it's definitely been building over the last couple of seasons. But to me, my money is still on watching French Onward Union in the EU climbing.
Oh, yeah,
ranks.
we do say their name a lot.
Fantastic season last season.
Yeah.
They had a great battle when they met up with Beginners towards the end of the season. I believe it wasn't casted, but I mean, it was a very close game, even closer than what we have here, this 13-7 score line. So, you know, and it's nothing against Viking. It's nothing against Silent Purge. It's nothing against the other EU teams. But from what I've seen personally, I've still got my money on French Onward Union to be the team.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but doesn't the French Onward Union have like the largest collection of veterans on one team?
Like actual military veterans? I'd
have to check with Haskell on that one. She knows the veterans that exist on every one of the teams, and a lot of the teams like they'll have like one or two. But I thought it was French Onward Union have more. But I don't know. I'll have to check in on that one.
Me.
In the end, Beginners do take the series 13-7 without giving up a map, but they all came very, very close. Moving on to Pacifist versus Dead Logic. I don't have an intro for this one, so we're just going to let Sleepy take us through these clips.
All right, and in our first one, it's going to be a great one from Jamie, the captain of the Pacifist. He's going to get a beautiful triple nade onto the members of Dead Logic here in the Suburbia playground. Unfortunately for Jamie, all of his kills, or downs, I should say, will be revived, and here comes the res that starts the choo-choo train of resurrection off right. Neox grabs Big Mike, and eventually everyone else is picked up as well. And that's going to be Buxton's Nade of the Week. The captain of Dead Logic then makes a move for the objective, and he's going to be able to take it. This was such an intelligent play here. I didn't cast this match, but I was watching this match. I actually was clipping these things all over the place. He just did this incredible, like, poke and prod offensive attack. He picked a few, and then he managed to just sneak right in between two defenders who were looking completely opposite directions and just never had any idea. And then on our final map here, Jamie, the captain of the Pacifist, once again is going to save his team's skin. Dead Logic's up 2-0, but not for long. Jamie comes in. He hides behind the sign just on the other side of the objective, puts in the code quite quickly, and gets the cap to bring his team up 2-0. They will end up going on to win that map 4-2. So comeback indeed.
Yes, indeed. Pacifists end up winning the total series 9-6. So a very good round to watch. Lots of good clips. I can't wait to see more from both of them this season. Moving on to SMC Tactical versus Danglers. That's a sweet and intense match between the two of the most aggressive teams in the league. SMC starting off reasonably well, but got decimated by Danglers on quarantine before picking up on cargo again. Alas, there were only a few clips submitted, so we need to make sure we get the captains to bring us more of those clips coming in as the season lets on.
Yes, bathe me in clips. Anyways, from Noman's bad jokes to my bad jokes at the start of the clip to Stumpy getting a long double nade, and he's just barely. Noman's going to try and make his way back across the map here as I started to call out something for him. And here comes the grenade off your screen on the right. Here is the arc in, and boom! Stumpy will take down both Captain Soda and Landon Jordan. Soda an insta-kill Landon. Oh, I'm sorry. Soda was double tapped by someone else to get killed, but eventually Beefy will return to get the res onto Landon. Then in our same map, an intense 1v1 shootout is going to occur here between Rybo and Sickness. It's a 1v1. There's only 2 minutes left. Danglers are trying to hold their edge, and then what's he do? He peeks, and then what's he not supposed to do? He's not supposed to re-peek, but what's he do? He re-peeks. Then he re-peeks again. And Sickness having some trouble with his stock, I've heard from his teammates, ends up freezing and jittering with his gun. Rybo takes the chance. He rushes at Sickness, gets the kill, and clenches Danglers, their third uninterrupted round of the map.
That's right. SMC Tactical end up winning the series 9-8, just giving up that one map on quarantine day, and the other maps ended up going 4-2. So still very close play between two of the toppest teams. Sure, we'll take that in the league. Very good watching that one as well. It turned out very
Yeah.
well. SMC actually stepping it back up this year through the trades that they were able to get. So it was exciting to see that SMC was able to like turn it back around. I know last season we had a lot of issues with what we were seeing them kind of like fall down and not doing as well as we'd saw previous season. So I'm really glad the trades are working out for them.
So well this season.
Yes, exactly. It's really good to watch it turn around.
I knew that they meant business when they showed up to the Danglers SMC game when they brought in their original like OG lineup of killers. I mean, they had Sickness, they had Pwnecake, they had Mr. Beefy, they had Landon, and then they had Captain Soda, and that's
all the
like
good ones. And
that's a land lineup right there. And so I knew when they brought in that lineup, and there were none of their newer players, none of the new trades, anything like that, that they did not.
Well, they were coming against Danglers. You got to make sure.
I mean, yes, but you would think, I don't know.
Well, a big mechanic that I've seen in this game, especially when I sit down and watch games with people like Globo-chem or like beginners, is that it starts off with map knowledge, right? Knowing where the good spots are and knowing where the other team is going to be in those good spots, right? But then the next level that I find with the top tier teams is that they don't just know that, they know what the players on the other team are going to do by name. Like they come around, you see this on cast, like they will say the name of the guy that they know is in that room they're about to pre-fire. Just I know you're there and I'm about to freaking kill you. And that kind of like knowledge is useful. It's very useful, especially if you know who on the team you want to take out first. You know what room they're going to be in based on where the uplink is. You're like, all right, he's going to be right there. He's always there. And I think that since they would know, the people that they put forth would know the Danglers, and the Danglers are going to be good players. They're like, well, we got to put the people who know what the people on the other team are going to end up doing. I mean, that's where we saw the beginners doing really well last season, is that they kept changing up what they did. So people would be expecting to do their slow play and be the regular rooms they were going to be in, and then they weren't there, and they do a fast play. They're like, all right, well, they do fast now. We're ready for that. Then they do a slow play and just catch people off guard. About play calling now. Blitz versus slow play, I guess. That's enough of my rant. Moving on to the next match. Mayhem had a strong start to the season in this Fury versus Mayhem match. This is their first game under new management and their new name, coming off losses to Fury in their last 2 matchups. They were keen to leave an impression. The match started with DF1. Fury was able to pick this one first. This was over quickly with 2 solid defensive rounds from Mayhem and an offensive cap by, was it Defilade? Quarantine 1 was the next map. Fury took the first defensive round before Mayhem ran away with the map, and the series went with 5 unanswered points. Cargo was a much closer map. Mayhem eased their foot off the throat of Fury and got punished for it and never let up, right? That's just rule number 1. The map went 4-3 to Fury with 3 unanswered points. Overall, Mayhem were apparently happy with their performance. They decided their own team's man of the match goes to Defilade with 18 enemy kills, plus 1 friendly, and an objective cap. Hey, sometimes friendlies get in the way. Though honorable mention to James Bauk, I believe that's how you said the name is pronounced, with 1 cap and 16 kills, plus 3 revives. So that's like minus kills, with solid supporting play from the rest of the team, with critical kills from Tech, Potato, and Wookie. So really good right up there from the captain. Always a pleasure when you guys write this stuff up and give us clips that Sleepy's going to walk us through.
Yeah, and well, they said it so much that we're just going to talk about it. It's just Cap Central. Defilade's going to come and get the cap here on Downfall, as mentioned in their intro. Just seconds after, Lionheart's going to come around the corner to stop the cap, but it won't matter because Mayhem are going to go 3 points up.
I love that he tries to block the shot with his tablet.
He's like, ping, ping, ping. Next, it's going to be a cap right under the nose of the enemy, but this time it'll be James Bauk making the second map cap. And for the cap, he's going to give his team a nice, after the cameraman flies into the wall there, he's going to give us a nice extra 2 points here, and Mayhem will take the map 5-1.
Yeah, Mayhem ends up winning the series overall 12-5. Well done, Mayhem. And that is really all that we have for this show. So we want to thank all of our players and viewers for supporting the show. Show us some love in the comments. Get a conversation going, as this helps the show rank up and get more exposure for people to know about the league.
Yeah, that's right. And keep those clips coming, folks, because, again, even if your game did not get casted, that doesn't mean that you can't submit clips from a first-person point of view stream. So feel free to send those in, preferably with the shots nicely framed, because, again, we don't want you looking around. But Again, so send us clips. That's the only way we can get you on the show.
Remember, we can get to those clips from your match page. So just have your captain submit them on the match page. If he submits a write-up and it's well written, Buxton won't change it. We will read it verbatim. Saves us some time, and it helps us promote you guys on this show. Any of you guys that want to do like interviews, you want us to talk about your team, we're also willing to do that. We have Vivian over at the Hive and is always willing to jump in on that stuff, as well as Triple Nipple, our fearless director. Again, I am Poonanners, joined by VRML Mod, Caster, and I think like new VRML like captain host or something, and former Dangler, Sleepy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And this show was brought to you, of course, by VRespawn.com, your one and only source for VR esports news. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like and follow us on all of our various platforms, social media, YouTube, Facebook, all of that stuff. And, hit those bells so that way you know when we go live or put the content out so you can stay up to date.
Yep, we need the love, and we're doing well. We're taking off. We've been around for a year. We've covered 3 seasons of Onward right now, 2 of them with the current setup we have now. And it's we're starting in on our 4th, so it's going to be great. This episode was written by Buxton with the help of all of our team captains. All praise unto Buxton, who suffers at the keyboard so that we don't have to. Triple Nipple, as always, our outstanding director. Sleepy has got the final word. Take us home, man.
All right, and again, thank you so much for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the episode. We're excited for VRML Onward Season 8 to get started. We hope you are too. Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sleepy, that's Legionnaires. Good night, everyone.